What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? Welcome to episode 9 of MLB Hot Takes. We're talking the Mariners tonight. We're talking Robbie Ray, AJ Hinch, Tony La Russa, even a little Derek Jeter. Let's get to it. And what's going on, baseball fans? Hello. Welcome to episode 9 of MLB Hot Takes, where you give me a hot take every single week, and I pick a handful of them, and we're going to talk about them tonight. So, I'm pretty excited for hot takes. Did we do a hot takes last week? I don't remember. I don't remember if we did a hot takes last week or not. Was it 2 weeks ago? I feel like something came up last week. I don't remember. But anyway, welcome to Hot Takes. So, we got a few good ones here tonight. Going to be some fun ones to discuss with you all in the chat. We got the Mariners. We got some Cy Young Award talk. We got some Manager of the Year Award talk. We got some Derek Jeter talk. And as a Red Sox fan, I'm always pretty pumped up to talk a little Derek Jeter. So, stick around for the end. I'm going to save that one for last. But yeah, got a few good ones tonight. So, but everyone, I do want to just do a couple of things here before I get started. Again, hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's having a good week. Hope everyone is ready for the weekend. I know I am. Another busy week at work. But if anyone is new, if you can, hit that subscribe button for me. We're trying to get to 14,000 subscribers. If we can get to 15,000 subscribers by the end of the World Series, that would be amazing. So that is the goal as of right now, to get to 15K by the offseason. So if you can, everyone, hit that like button for me. Hit the bell button for me. That way you get notified of all the videos. Share the stream if you can. Yeah. So coming back to you here. But I have just a couple of things to just announce. Well, not really announce, but just to inform you of really quick. Let me just share a couple of things. So sharing the screen with you all here. So I did upload a video earlier today. I uploaded my first ever MLB The Show rebuild. So I decided to fix the Arizona Diamondbacks. Actually, you guys decided to fix the Arizona Diamondbacks. I put out a poll around a couple of weeks ago, and you guys all voted for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So it was about 43 minutes long. So hey, if you guys want to go check it out, if you want something to listen to while you're doing whatever, I had a lot of fun doing that one. So go check it out. See if I was able to win a World Series within 3 seasons. Also, really quick, I do want to share a post. If you all can, if you can, go to my community tab. So if you go to my channel and you click on the community tab right here, you will see that I have a poll. Okay, so if you can, I'm not going to really get into it too much, but take a look at that poll. If you can, read it for me, just a little bit of a read. So I talked about something pretty important. If you can, go read that for me and go vote down below. Whatever answer you pick, I am okay with whatever answer you pick. So if you can, go take a read on that. But everyone, let's go into the hot takes. So I think I have 10 of them tonight. Yeah, all pretty fun ones. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to the first one here. So number one, we have from Jackson Williams. Let's start this one off hot with a team that just seems to be one of the stories of the year so far. The Mariners go on a win streak to end the season. Through this, they win the division over the Astros. They are only 6 games back. I believe in them. So let me pull up the standings really quick here. Let's kind of get into this. I'm going to pull up FanGraphs as well. Let's take a look. Also, I'm going to throw on some Spotify here, get the music going. Let's put the tunes on. Hold on 1 second for me. Let's get this on. Alrighty. Okay, I think we can start right here. Okay, I think we are good to go. All right, so let's pull up the standings as of right now. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear the music. I think I can hear it. There you go. Okay, we can all hear the music. All right, cool. Let's get started. So again, the first hot take, we're going to see, can the Mariners win this division? I actually did a video this past week on whether or not the Mariners could get a wild card spot. But you know what? I don't think it's too out of the question to consider maybe the division. I mean, this Mariners team, 11 games over 500. And if you go back into one of the streams in the offseason, I remember talking about this Mariners team. I believe it was my predictions video. I know I had talked in a few other streams saying, hey, I think this Mariners team could be a fun team this year. You got guys like Julio Rodriguez, Emerson Hancock, George Kirby down below in the minor leagues where they're not quite there yet. And even Jared Kelenic, he's not really fully there yet. You got fun players like that are going to be coming up. So, but I thought this team could be pretty fun this year. You knew you were going to get a Jared Kelenic at this year at some point. I figured you were going to see one of those pictures come up, like a Logan Gilbert, who did end up coming up. And then you got some pretty decent talent on that team, with Kyle Lewis, who is going to be coming back soon from injury. I saw a fun team, and I'm not surprised. A lot of people thought the Mariners were, probably going to have a losing record this year. For me personally, this is kind of exactly where I saw them, kind of hanging around in the wild card picture. Maybe not too far back in the division, but I'm not surprised to see this. However, this Mariners team, they have been a little up and down this year, and there's a couple of reasons for that. So I want to point out a couple of things. So let's go pull up some stats here. One big thing for the Mariners this year has been the bullpen. So that's the first thing I want to actually address. So let me pull up here the stats. Let's pull up the pitching. Let's pull up the relievers. And if you take a look here, the Mariners have the 3rd best bullpen on the year. So we all know, hey, a good bullpen, I mean, that's definitely necessary if you want to have a team to make the playoffs. And if you want to win in the World Series, that bullpen, they're going to have to perform. So the Mariners, as of right now, they have the 3rd best bullpen, even after trading away a Kendall Graveman. But for Seattle, when it comes to the offense, this is one thing that I want to actually point out. So let me actually pull up how they rank offensively on the year. Seattle right now, if you take a look at their offensive runs above average, they rank 22nd in offense this year. However, there's something to take note of, and I actually had someone point this out to me in the comments on that video that I did this past week. And, I couldn't believe I left it out. And it's like, because this has been a team that's really done well in these situations. Quite frankly, the Seattle Mariners are a very clutch team. If you go take a look here, let me pull up the stats really quick. So if I pull up runners in scoring position, the Mariners do really well in this situation. So let me pull up WRC plus. So if I were to put runners in scoring position, I believe they are they're the best team this year in WRC plus in runners in scoring position. So it's really funny how the Mariners, they only rank 22nd in offense on the year, but they do extremely well when they have runners on. So that's pretty impressive, and that's been a big reason for Seattle's success this year is they come up in big moments. And also, I'm going to point this out too. If I were to put high leverage situations, Seattle also ranks 1st in that too. So Seattle, they are a very clutch team. Also, I want to point out the, if I were to pull up the offense once again, So if you go to win probability on Fangraphs, Seattle, if you click on the clutch stat here, Seattle is actually the #1 team when it comes to being clutch. So all the stats point to the Mariners. They come through when it matters most. However, the only thing that really holds me back on the Mariners is, while I love this, I love how clutch they are. I love how well they do with runners in scoring position. I love how well they are in high leverage situations. When I see the offense overall, when they're ranking 22nd overall in offense on the year, it kind of, I don't know. I need to see more of a consistent offense, in my personal opinion. However, I will actually be fair. Let me pull up how they've been doing since the All-Star break. So the Mariners offense, I'm sure it's probably actually decent. So Seattle, okay, they're 19th in offense since the All-Star break. As a team, since the All-Star break, they're hitting .237. A .313 on base. I mean, a negative 3.3 offensive runs above average. So, Seattle, like I said, they do well when it comes to clutch moments, but overall, they don't rank very well. And that kind of puts a damper on how I feel about them. How much are they going to be able to keep that going, especially down the stretch? I mean, sure, they've been able to do it, this much so far at this point in the season, but can they keep that going all the way to the end of the season? I mean, is their luck going to run out eventually? That's one thing I worry about. But I do like the bullpen, ranking 3rd overall. If we actually take a look at the starting pitching, let me actually pull up their rotation as well. Mariners, here we go. So the starting pitching for the year, Seattle, they don't rank particularly well here. Luckily, they have a good bullpen to pick up the slack, but they only rank 24th. So, the ERA and the FIP are right around the same. XFIP is right around the same as well. So, I don't know. The starting pitching is a little underwhelming to me. If we look at the rotation, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the rotation. I love the pickup of a Tyler Anderson when they picked him up at the deadline. You did bring up a Logan Gilbert, Kikuchi, Marco Gonzalez, Flexen. It's a decent rotation. Actually, let me be fair as well. Let me see how they've been doing since the All-Star break. I'm sure they rank probably a little better. Okay, so they ranked 19th. So overall in the year, they ranked, what was it again? They ranked, I forgot the number. It was 24th. So they have been a little better since the All-Star break. Logan Gilbert to me has been a nice, addition to that rotation. He's had a good year. Waffle Man, fun fact, I saw a stat on Twitter that said the Mariners 2021 is the most clutch team of all time. Interesting. They've had a lot of clutch moments this year. Wow, I actually have to look into that. That's something to really, really look into. So, hey, maybe that could be a video. The most clutch teams of all time. Let me know in the chat if you would like to see that video. Give me a thumbs up if you would like to see some kind of a ranking or like a list video like that. So, here we go. So again, for the Mariners, you're 2.5 back in the wild card. I wonder in the end, is it going to be enough to win the division? I don't know. Is it even going to be enough to win a wild card? Let's actually go take a look at Fangraphs. Let's go look at the projected standings. So right now, in the West, that's not the projected standings. Oh, here we go. 2021 playoff odds on Fangraphs. I'm not saying Fangraphs is the end-all, be-all. It's just, a percentage. They like to use their algorithms on here. So let's see what they're saying. As of right now, they give them a 0.8% chance to win the division and only a 4.4% chance to win a wild card. Pretty low numbers. Pretty low numbers. If you take a look, team like the Red Sox, I'm not trying to be biased here, but the Red Sox are a good team this year. I don't think any of us can deny that. They've been a very good team. Chris Sale is actually pitching his butt off tonight. Actually just hit 97 in that last inning. An immaculate inning for Chris Sale. I believe Is he the only pitcher? What did it say? He was the only pitcher in history to have, I think that was his 3rd immaculate inning, or is there someone else alongside him? I couldn't remember what it said exactly, but Chris Sale, man, starting to look pretty good. I'm excited to see what he can do against some better teams. Anyway, I'm talking about the Mariners, but hey, for the Mariners, it's a great story. I just wonder if it's going to be enough. Not trying to hate on the Mariners. I mean, what a team. They've been one of America's teams this year. So, Rabin, he's saying him and Sandy Koufax are the only 2 pitchers in history with 3 immaculate innings. So, Chris Sale, man, he's just that nasty. I'm sure he's going to get a couple more along the way. But Mariners, hey, you got some competition. The thing with the Mariners is I think you're gonna have to play Oakland a couple more times. I think you got a series against Houston in there. If we look at the strength of schedule with the Mariners as well, a bit of a tough schedule. The combined winning percentage of the teams that they'll be facing down the stretch have a .511 win percentage. That's pretty decent. So let me actually go to the Mariners schedule. Again, 6 games. Hey, we all have seen, teams can turn things, can really make the standings look different in a matter of a week. So, taking a look at the Mariners' schedule for the rest of the way, in August, so like I said, you have a series against Kansas City, or the Houston Astros. You got a series here against Kansas City. This should be a winnable series. You should be at least be able to split that series. So, that's a winnable one, but if you go to September, so you got 3 against the Astros there. Then you got a Diamondbacks team. You got 3 more against the Astros, then the Diamondbacks again. This is going to be a bit of a key series here. You got the Red Sox and the Mariners. So that's a key one. You got the Royals again. This is going to be key as well. Who knows what the standings are going to be looking like at this point, but you got 4 against the A's, and then you got 3 more against them at the end of the season. Could this end up, who knows? Could you end up seeing this be, could this series end up determining the second wildcard spot? I mean, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you think down below in the chat. Do you think that the Mariners can pull off a miracle and win this division? Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Give me a thumbs down if you disagree. Jackson Williams, thank you so much again for the hot take. Really appreciate that, my friend. Alrighty, but coming back to you guys, very interested to see what you guys think. So I'm seeing no chance for Matt. Radlad says sell. Jameson says no way. Brendan says nah. Jason nah, but they could get close. Yeah, why not? I think they're going to be right there until the end. And I think Mariners fans, no matter what ends up happening, even if you miss the playoffs, you're going to be excited heading into next season. That is in the end, Mariners fans, you win, because this is a season where you're seeing how well this team has been. Add a couple of pieces in the offseason, which you could. I mean, you already have so much young talent. Add in a couple of pieces, maybe even someone like a Carlos Correa or a Corey Seager, kind of fill in some gaps there. I think you need to add a bat if you're the Mariners in the offseason. Add someone like a consistent bat. Whether if it's, and I think shortstop could be a good place to upgrade. I like me some J.P. Crawford, but if I could have a Corey Seager, I would. I think if you can, add some bats. I think that would be really big. And then I think the Mariners, you could see them right there gunning for a division next year. So, alrighty, let's move on to our next hot take. Alrighty, so this is an interesting one. I actually like this one. Bobby Wasabi. Having an ace starting pitcher making $30+ million hurts the team. A rotation of a 3 ERA to 4 ERA can be good. Use that money in the bullpen. This is a really interesting one. I actually enjoy this one. I'm actually a big I don't like big contracts, is what I'm trying to say. I think they end up being more detrimental than anything. I understand why these teams do these big contracts, because in the end, a lot of it has to do with the marketing of the player. It has to do with, helps bringing in, helps selling tickets, helps, bringing in revenue. I understand why these teams do it. In the end, these contracts tend to not really work out. So Conman752, I am seeing your super chat. I don't know if that popped up or not. I thought your D-backs video was live, so I donated expecting you to read it. Oh, no, I did read it, Conman. I said thank you in the chat. But that was a premiere. Yeah, it wasn't live, but it was a 45-minute premiere, so I was kind of hopping in and out looking at the comments. Comment, but I really appreciate that, my friend. Hey, all the support you guys show for the channel, much love, my friend, much love. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the Diamondbacks video. So, alrighty, so let's pull up here. So, biggest contracts in the MLB. So let's share this here. Okay. Alrighty, so let's take a look. Okay, so Bryce Harper. So we're gonna kind of just run through. And actually, let me actually pull up here. Biggest salaries. I just spelled that wrong. Biggest salaries for pictures. I feel like Spotrac has something. Yeah. No, those are the financial rankings. Where is it? Where is it? Whatever. I'll just click on this one. Nope, that's not the right link. Apologies, everyone. Apologies. So I know Spotrac. They have... Okay, here we go. Contracts, active contracts. Oh, wait, that was the right one. Whatever. So let's go for pictures. All right, so again, we're talking about the hot take where, you know, paying over $30 million for a pitcher, it actually hurts the team. So looking at these guys, I mean, more often than not, big contracts don't really work out. The most recent example was Max Scherzer. I believe in what year what was he making in 2019? So I believe he was making over 30 in 2019. So 2019, yeah, he made definitely more than 30. So that ended up working out. So, but in the end, you know, for Washington, you know, a big part of that contract, you know, or that was such a big part of their payroll. You know, Anthony Rendon ended up going to the Angels. You ended up trading away, or you did trade away Bryce Harper before that, but, you know, he was a big part of that payroll, so I can understand why they didn't want to, you know, start handing out, you know, big contracts to other players. But it did work out in 2019. Garrett Cole, we'll have to see if that ends up working out. Greinke, I would say for Greinke, it's been good for the Astros, but, you know, 2019 they lost that World Series. They were, you know, one win away. So you could argue that it did, and they got to a Game 7 against the Rays last year in the playoffs. So, you know, if it comes to winning a World Series, they have not been able to win a World Series with him. If we take a look, Patrick Corbin, well, he's not making $30 million. So, I mean, if you take a look here, these are the guys that are making $30 million. So, you know, David Price, what did he make in 2018? So, yeah, he did make 30. So, for the most part, I feel like personally, pitchers, if you're going to pay someone, you should pay pitchers. That, in my opinion, I know that sounds ridiculous because they only end up pitching every, you know, once every 5 days, where these position players end up playing a lot more. But if you look in recent history, the big contracts, and Strasburg, well, he didn't have the big contract in that World Series run, right? No, he ended up getting that contract started in 2020. So, you know, these big contracts for the pitchers, at least in recent memory, have worked. I think actually Chris Sale, well, no, he got that extension in 2019. So, yeah, so you can't really count him. But out of these guys that are making more than $30 million, I mean, 3 out of 5 of them have helped you win a World Series. So, I mean, if you kind of start going down the list, you know, if you take a look, I mean, that was 2019. So Corbin, he wasn't getting $30 million. He was getting, around $23, $24 million. He helped you win a World Series in 2019. You know, Kershaw, how much did Kershaw make last year? So he did not. Well, actually, so Yeah, so he was 31 million last year. So he did help you win. I mean, he didn't make the third, but whatever. They adjusted it because of the season being shortened. But he did get paid more than 30. So he actually helped you win a World Series last year. I gotta think. I mean, who are some other guys on here? I mean, but then you kind of, well, hold on. Let me go. Is there a way to where it shows the per year? That's the value of the, well, I guess whatever, we can see it for the most part. But yeah, more often than not, these guys that end up getting paid this much money, they tend to win. I mean, right now, the only guy that hasn't is, Greinke, but he got you really darn close. And, he also was a part of the puzzle as well, a big piece of the puzzle. But, you also had Verlander. But, Garrett Cole, we got a long time left on this contract. We'll have to wait and see if this ends up working out. Actually, yeah, let me click on, I just saw you, Matt, click on AAV. So yeah, okay, here we go. So yeah, this is a lot better now. But yeah, so out of the guys that are making 30 million, you got, Strasburg doesn't count because he wasn't getting paid that much. You've had, actually, what was Verlander making in 2017? What was he making in 2017? No, so he made 2018. So no, he made 20 million. Or no, that went on. No, so that, yeah, no, that's not right. Nope. So yeah, no for him. But yeah, pretty much. I would say for the most part, you got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so 3 guys who have helped you win a World Series. And then, Corbin made 23. But so my personal opinion, if you are going to pay a guy a whole bunch of money, you do it for an ace. That's just me. If you take a look at the biggest contracts in history. So Bryce Harper, that has not worked out yet. Garrett Cole, we don't know yet. Manny Machado hasn't panned out yet. ARod, you won 1 World Series. I mean, let's be honest here. A 10-year contract for almost $30 million per year. You won 1 World Series. In my opinion, I don't know. Sure, probably brought in a lot of ticket sales and revenue, jersey sales and whatnot. But if we're talking about in terms of championships, you only won 1 with ARod. This contract, well, yeah, they did the extension, so whatever. You can just say ARod, you only won 1 World Series. Anthony Rendon, that has yet to work out. They haven't even been able to get close to the playoffs. Strasburg, I mean, this contract is looking kind of bad already, considering how, his injuries have been. Pujols was a complete bust. Let's be honest. Pujols, that was better. I'm going to be honest here. That was more for the ticket sales. That was more for the jersey sales. I mean, let's be real about that. I don't know. The Angels, they just never, they made the playoffs 1 time without Pujols. Oh, the Red Sox with a 10-2 lead. Rafael Devers with a home run. That's what I'm talking about. Is that number 30 on the year? Rafi Devers. That's what I'm talking about. Robinson Cano. That didn't work out. That's a terrible contract. David Price. We did get 1 World Series. So that was an example of a pitcher making $30 million. But yeah, if you really think about it, then you also had Manny Ramirez, who was, getting a big contract. Let me actually type in, hold on, let me actually go back here. Let's just go all positions. Do they have, or is this just active players? I want all time. Act all time. So, Giancarlo Stanton, that's not been a great contract so far. All right, so if we're going to go down this list. So right now I'm focusing on position players. So we've seen that that pitchers who make more than 30 million, more often than not, they have won a World Series. And but if we're taking a look, so let's go to $30 million guys. So Manny Machado, nothing yet. I mean, you could argue Mookie Betts helped you win. I'd like to see them win another one over a full season. Miguel Cabrera, that didn't really work out. Nolan Arenado, I don't know if that's going to work out into a World Series. Lindor, let's see if the Mets can win one. But if we're to take a look at some of the biggest contracts in history, Yoenis Cespedes, no. Lester did help you win one. You could argue Lester, he was making what, like $25 million per year or 25.8. He helped you win one. So that's another example of a pitcher getting big money and helping you win a World Series. Who knows what's going to happen with Harper. Ryan Howard was getting a lot of money, but he ended up not helping with anything. Let's see. Cliff Lee was making a ton of money. That's another guy who was making a lot of money. Helped you win some games, but didn't get to a World Series. Where's that guy, like a Manny Ramirez kind of a contract? So Manny, do they have him on here? Where's Manny Ramirez's contract? He got like what, 100, or was it 170 he made? Okay, well, they're missing Manny Ramirez's contract on here. It's not showing. CC was another guy. I mean, he won one World Series. So that was another picture getting paid big money. Oh, here's Manny. You know why? I'm looking for a Red Sox hat, and they have him with the A's hat. But he was getting big money. He won how many World Series total? So he won 2 World Series with the Red Sox. So that's an example of a position player getting a good amount of money. You got to remember, he got this contract back in 2001. So this was a massive contract at that time. You know, so that's something to consider. I know $20 million doesn't seem like a lot for a player today. It's a good amount, but back in 2001, this was a huge contract. Matt Kemp, nothing. So yeah, so I feel like more often than not, I'll say it one more time. If you're gonna pay money for a player, do it for a pitcher. I don't think you should do it for a position player because you got more position players to worry about. With a pitcher, one pitcher can change the outcome of a game. Madison Bumgarner, perfect example. Look at how David Price did in the playoffs in 2018. Max Scherzer was awesome in 2019. There are just way more examples of higher paid pitchers that help you win championships, who get big money. Position players, not so much. So, but let me know what you guys think about this one. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with this statement? Having an ace starting pitcher making $30 million hurts the team. A rotation of a 3 ERA, 4 ERA can be good. Use that money for the bullpen. Now, I don't disagree with this. I think you should spread out the money. But, but according to the history, these high-paid pitchers tend to bring success. So that is just my opinion. Also, Rafael Devers, while you guys are voting on this in the chat, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you agree. Rafael Devers becomes the second Red Sox to hit 30 home runs in multiple seasons before age 25. The only other Red Sox to do that was Ted Williams. Good company. So let's move on. We're at 105 people. Welcome, everyone. If anyone is new, think about hitting that subscribe button for me. I saw we already had a couple of subscribers tonight, so thank you for joining. But, yeah, I'm seeing some of you agree. Mookie, here we go. Matt, Mookie getting $30 million at 40 years old. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, if you're going to, my opinion, if you're going to shell out some money, do it for a pitcher. That's just me. But, so I'm seeing a couple of you in between. Brendan, I would only say re-sign pitchers to max contracts if they're already in your organization. Yeah, I can see that too. But alrighty. Yeah, Matt, I agree with you. It is a little situational. It depends. I mean, really in life, let's be real. Anything that everything that you choose in life, it really should, it depends. Depends on the situation. It depends on the time frame. It depends on a lot. You should factor in a lot of things. So, moving on, the third hot take of the night. From Risticle, Adam Wainwright is the most underrated player this year. You know what? I want to show some love for Adam Wainwright tonight. He's been awesome this season. I think he's been a big reason for the St. Louis Cardinals being able to hang around in the wild card picture. So, you know what? I'm going to take a look at Adam Wainwright here. We're going to go to the leaderboards for the pitching. Adam Wainwright. So, if we take a look at the stats this year, Adam Wainwright has been fantastic. You know, Draft Neck Mark, he loves to say the old age is like fine wine. Well, Adam Wainwright, I mean, I feel like you can consider he's in that similar kind of a category. So Adam Wainwright, through 25 starts this year, he's 12-7, has a 3.10 ERA. If you look at the FIP, it's a 3.57, a little higher than the ERA, but that's fine. Adam Wainwright is not a guy with a lot of velocity. He's 39 years old. That velocity has been dipping. Where he really succeeds is he doesn't give up a lot of home runs. He doesn't walk a whole ton of guys. He locates. He uses his off-speed pitches. He mixes and matches. That's Adam Wainwright's game. If you take a look at the starting pitcher rankings as of right now, he ranks at least on Fangraphs, he ranks 16th in WAR. So actually, let me go to the National League. Now, the question is, I wonder, Adam Wainwright, are you going to get some Cy Young votes? I don't see why not. You rank 11th in WAR in the National League. I mean, I don't think anyone's really talking about that. You're hearing a lot about Zach Wheeler. You got the Brewers pitching. Walker Buehler's been getting a lot of steam lately. Look at Walker Buehler, 13-2. I guarantee you, Walker Buehler, and we're going to talk about Walker Buehler here in a second, but I think you're going to see Walker Buehler get a lot of consideration for the Cy Young, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But Adam Wainwright, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get some kind of third, fourth place votes. I wouldn't be surprised because the guy's is having a phenomenal season at age 39 years old, and he's been basically carrying the Cardinals on his back. So really enjoy Adam Wainwright. To me, he's made all of his starts. He's throwing a good amount of innings, and he's just pitching. He's just really pitching. He's not blowing you away with velocity. He's not blowing you away with devastating sliders. The guy is just, if you want to look at the art of pitching, go watch Adam Wainwright. He's reminding me of how Greg Maddux used to operate, So, Adam Wainwright, I definitely agree. I think he's been underrated. You could even say a guy like Tyler Mahley's been underrated this year. Wade Miley, too. These two guys have been carrying the Reds this year. Wade Miley and Tyler Mahley. I mean, these guys are both 10-4 on the year. Wade Miley, I think, has been, if you were to consider the most underrated pitcher, I mean, I think you can give an argument for a Wade Miley, honestly. Now, Adam Wainwright, I definitely think you can consider him too. Charlie Morton, I haven't heard of Charlie Morton this year getting any kind of love. I mean, he's been having a good season. 3.30 FIP. Charlie Morton has absolutely been pretty underrated this year. I haven't heard one thing about Charlie Morton this year. So you got a few guys here that deserve some more love. But let me know what you guys think in the chat. Adam Wainwright, do you think he is the most underrated pitcher in baseball this year? So, yeah, Eric Coomer, right? The WAR, Wade Miley. Who would have thought? Yeah, Chicken Burger, Matt, both of you talking about Brandon Woodruff. I mean, I think Brandon Woodruff, in my opinion, he seems to be like he's so underrated to where I saw someone comment this. I believe it was in a stream where they said Brandon Woodruff is so underrated to the point where he's overrated. I forget how exactly he worded it, but because there were so many people saying Brandon Woodruff was underrated, it almost made it seem like, okay, well, he's not really underrated if everyone is saying he's underrated. So, Sandy Alcantara also, Daxon, I see you in the chat. Sandy Alcantara has been quietly having a pretty good season as well. I think the thing is, he has a losing record, but to me, records, that doesn't really, I don't know. It doesn't really reflect how you are as a pitcher. That's a very, that's a very classical kind of a stat. If you go back to, I think it was, 1990. Who was the guy on the A's? He won the Cy Young Award. What was his name again? It was Bob something. He won the Cy Young Award over Roger Clemens. It was Bob something. Who was it? I can't think of his last name. Bob Welsh. Bob Welsh. Take a look at this. So, Bob Welsh, this blows my mind. So, Bob Welsh won the Cy Young Award in 1990. Look at the war between those two. Look at this. Roger Clemens had almost 8 more wins than this guy. Like, are you kidding me? But the reason Bob Welsh won the award was because of that 27-6 record. And that was what the voters looked at. They looked at the wins and the losses. Clemens had a way lower ERA. He had way more strikeouts. He had less walks. He had way less home runs given up. Like, Roger Clemens was better in every single category. So it's pretty interesting, this is, whenever I still see people say like, oh, well, look at his win and loss record. Well, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, look at this. That's ridiculous. And Bob Welsh had, 5 more starts. Roger Clemens should have won the award this year in 1990. But, that goes to show where I was talking about, like Sandy Alcantara. You still got a lot of those guys, especially the people that vote today. They still look at that win and loss record. And to me, it's like, come on, we're in 2021. We're not in 1990 anymore. We're not in 1995 anymore. So, I don't know. But, yeah. Roger Clemens should have won the night. Here's another thing, too. I want to point this out really quick. Roger Clemens, can someone please can someone make some sense of this? Roger Clemens got 3rd in MVP voting, and Bob Welsh got 9th. But Bob Welsh won the Cy Young. Like, I don't get it. Like, how does Roger Clemens finish 3rd in MVP voting, but he comes in 2nd in the Cy Young? I don't get that. It makes no sense to me. Anyway, but let's take a look. Let's move on here to our next hot take. Hot take number 4 on the night. Here we go. So let's stick with some pitching. This is a pretty fun one. Brewers fans, I know you're looking out for this. Aaron Ashby will pitch like a star in the playoffs as a multi-inning, high-leverage reliever, pushing the Brewers to playoff success. Now, I like this one because, you know what? I want to show some love for Aaron Ashby. This guy, he was absolutely embarrassed in his debut, but if we go take a look at how he's been doing recently, this guy has been great. So let's take a look at Aaron Ashby. Let's take a look at the game log. Here we go, sharing the screen. So if we go back to his debut against the Chicago Cubs on June 30th, this guy got completely mangled. He didn't even make it out of the first inning. He gave up 7 runs, 4 earned. He walked 3. He had a horrible start. Terrible, terrible start. But ever since coming back to the Brewers, he went back to the minor leagues for a month. He worked on some things, whatever. He came back in August. And at the beginning of, or August 10th, he's had 3 outings since then. He started 2, and then he came out of the bullpen in his last start. This guy, he's reminding me of how Garrett Whitlock has been for the Red Sox. He's come in, he's, thrown 2 innings here, 4 innings here, 2 innings here. This guy's been fantastic. He hasn't given up a run. He has struck out 4 in back-to-back outings. Aaron Ashby, sure, it's against the Cubs and it's against the Pirates and it's against the Nationals. These are 3 really weak teams at the moment. But you know what? This guy is showing some promise. And you know what? And actually, even with, I want to point this out too. On the year, Aaron Ashby, if you include that first start, on the year, he has a 4.15 ERA. However, if we go take a look at Aaron Ashby's FIP, it's a 2.48. That FIP shows that he has pitched, even if you include that first start, he's actually pitched way better than what that ERA says. So, Aaron Ashby, hey, and the walks. He also had 4 walks per 9. Let me go back to how many guys has he walked in his last few outings? He's only walked 1 guy in his last few outings. So, Aaron Ashby, I think could be a big part. You always need, like, whenever you want to succeed in the playoffs, you always got to have one guy that's going to step up for you, whether that's the offense, the starting pitching, or the bullpen. Aaron Ashby could definitely be a guy that kind of becomes like this unsung kind of a hero where, hey, maybe a pitcher gets knocked around in a start. Maybe Brandon Woodruff ends up, let's say Corbin Burns starts game 1, Brandon Woodruff starts game 2. Brandon Woodruff gives up like 8 runs in 2 innings. The Brewers are getting blown out. You can bring in Aaron Ashby for maybe 4 innings out of that, 4 or 5 innings out of the bullpen and, kind of save the bullpen a little bit. I could see Aaron Ashby doing some stuff like that, or coming in, throwing 2 innings, helping bridge the gap to the back end of that bullpen. Have to wait and see, but he is pitching a lot better as, since that debut. I remember I came up with a trade, right? It was before the trade deadline. I suggested a trade of, I didn't suggest the trade. MLB.com suggested this trade. It was between the Brewers and the Cubs. I don't remember if Anthony Rizzo was the centerpiece. I don't remember. Maybe it was, it was for Chris Bryant. It was a Chris Bryant trade going to the Brewers, and Aaron Ashby was one of the guys MLB.com suggested going back to the Cubs. And I remember people commenting on that video because I was reviewing those trades, and people were like, Aaron Ashby, this guy gave up 7 runs in his debut. This guy is garbage. And I'm saying to these guys, like, it's one start. It's one start. Everyone was ragging on Carter Kieboom, and look at how better Carter Kieboom's been playing. You got to give these rookies some time. Rookies got to marinate. It's kind of one of those things. They gotta go through those hard times. Go look at Randy Johnson's stats in the beginning of his career. He was awful. Let me pull up Randy Johnson here. A lot of pitchers have not had a lot of success in the beginning of their career. Look at Randy Johnson in 1989 when he was with Montreal and Seattle. He had a 4.82 ERA in those years. Look at how he was with Montreal. He had a 4.52 FIP with Montreal that year. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of guys were thinking like, oh, Randy Johnson, this guy's a bust. Look at the ERA. Look at, especially in 1989, they probably looked at his win-loss record, 7-13. This guy is horrible. Randy Johnson, 7-13. They were probably looking here in 1992 with Seattle. They were probably thinking 12-14. Why is Randy Johnson on this team? But Randy Johnson ended up being one of the best pitchers of all time. Seattle Town M's, $5 super chat. Sorry, it's way past, just got off. Hey, no problem, my friend. And watch the M's part. This season is a win. Everyone had us at 72 wins. We have a chance to get to that before September. Absolute win on the year for the Seattle Mariners. Absolutely. Even if you don't make it to the playoffs, no matter what, you're going to look back on this season, you're going to be happy about this season, and you're going to be excited for the offseason. No matter what, you're excited for the offseason, so that's a win for me. I also see you in the chat. Speed, I see you. Greg Maddux, he had not a great start to his career as well. Greg Maddux, take a look at him. 1986, 5.52 ERA through 6 games. 1987, a 5.61 ERA, 6-14. I guarantee everyone at that point was like, oh, get rid of Greg Maddux. Everyone, ship him down to the minor leagues, trade him away, cut him, get rid of this guy. But then Greg Maddux ended up being one of the best pitchers of all time. So my point is, hey, Aaron Ashby, sure, the guy had a really rough debut, but it's okay. It's okay. You're gonna have, if you're a rookie in the major leagues, you're gonna have to take your bumps. Carter Kieboom, he had to take his bumps. I remember last year people were saying Carter Kieboom, he's a bust. I don't believe in this guy anymore. The dude had like 50 games in the major leagues and he going up and down. It's like, come on. Like, you got to have a little more patience, please. In 2021, we need to have more patience, everyone. Come on. Anyway, but Aaron Ashby, I like this hot take. Could end up being some kind of an unsung hero for the Brewers. Let me know what you think in the chat. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you agree with this hot take. give me a thumbs down if you disagree with this hot take. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, Glasnow on the Pirates was terrible too. Cody Fletcher with a thumbs up. Casey Mize. Yeah, Casey Mize, he had a bad year too. You know, it's not a great year. And, Nate Pearson had a bad year last year. So, sports predictions saying no, not this playoffs. Hey, maybe Aaron Ashby ends up being a big starter for the Brewers down the road. Matt says, I buy this. Okay. Yeah, Yankees. Cole on the Pirates was mediocre. Cole had to learn to pitch. That was the big thing with Cole. He was blowing away guys in college. He had all the stuff. He had all the velocity. He just needed to learn how to pitch. So, simple as that. But, all right, let's, Jer Gouda says he could see it. Daxon thinks he could be a big help. Yeah, Alex Jones, I agree. Scoop Ball was not very good last year. Alrighty, moving on. Hot take number 5. Okay, now let's get to that. Let's get to some award talk here. Award talk. So we've been talking some pictures. Pitching is the heavy topic here tonight. But Walker Buehler will win the Cy Young over Wheeler. Now, this is a really interesting one. So sharing the screen. If you take a look, Walker Buehler, he is having a really good season. He has a 13-2 record. We just discussed that wins and losses aren't really important. But you know what? I mean, hey, a 13-2 record, it's a 13-2 record. I mean, you can't deny that he only has 2 losses on the year. Again, it's not the most important thing, but 13-2 is pretty good. 2.02 ERA. That's going to look good for the voters. Absolutely. That's a shot to the monster. Gone! Home run, Bobby Dahlback. Another one on the night. Let's go. Bobby Dahlback, number 16 on the year. Let's go. Here we go. Walker Buehler, 2.02 ERA. That's going to look good for the voters. Because you know what? A lot of these voters, they don't care about FIP. They don't care about XFIP. They're going to be looking at strikeouts. They're going to be looking at innings. They're going to be looking at ERA. And they're going to look at the wins and the losses. Rick Porcello was a guy. He went, 21-4 in 2016? Rick Porcello shouldn't have won. I'm a big Red Sox fan. Rick Porcello should not have won the Cy Young in 2016. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was like, oh, cool. One of our guys got the Cy Young. But Justin Verlander should have won the award that year. So, Yankees, Stanton with a moonshot. Every time Stanton makes good contact, it's gone. Bobby Dahlback getting a standing ovation. I love it. I love Bobby Dahlback getting a couple of home runs tonight. Bobby Dahlback has played very well. When I went to the Rays-Red Sox game in Tampa a few weeks ago, there was some guy in the stands saying, Bobby Dahlback, you suck. You're going to get sent down to AAA and blah, blah, blah. And he was like yelling at this kid, man. You remember Bobby Dahlback's 21 years old? This dude was just screaming at this kid. And it was a Red Sox fan. And I'm like, good grief, my guy. Can you calm down? And he was standing like he was on the on deck circle, and I was right near home plate. I had the amazing seats. So we were like 20 feet, 30, 40 feet away from him, and he was just screaming this. Bobby Dahlback, 2 home runs tonight. You love to see it. This guy's been hitting crazy amount of home runs lately. Anyway, I digress. Walker Buehler, I could definitely see him winning the Cy Young. He has the ERA. He has a good amount of strikeouts. Zach Wheeler does have a better strikeout per 9. I feel like personally, when it comes to awards, I feel like you're going to look more towards Baseball Reference. While I prefer Fangraphs because I'm a big fan of FIP and XFIP and I love all the advanced numbers, when it really comes to voting, you're going to look at more of the surface stats. You're going to look at the ERA. You're going to look at the strikeouts. You're going to look at the win-loss record. You're not going to look at FIP. It's just not, it's not really going to be there. You're not going to look at hard hit percentage. You're not going to look at barrels allowed. You're not going to look at all that stuff. So Walker Buehler, I definitely think, could win this award. I think there's a very good chance. If we take a look here, taking a look. So if we look at WAR, wait, this says American League pitching leaders. Oh, wait, that's for all. Here we go. No, I don't want American League. I want National League. How do I get to oh, here we go. All right, so Bueller, how interesting. Wade Miley has the highest WAR for a pitcher on Baseball Reference. So Bueller has the second highest. Him and Wheeler are tied. So very interesting. Bueller leads in ERA. Bueller has more wins. Bueller has the way better win percentage. Let's take a look at strikeouts. Zach Wheeler has the edge over Bueller. So that is one thing to consider. But another thing too, I mean, Walker Bueller, I mean, I could see, because this might sound ridiculous, but he's on the bigger market team. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like because he's going to be on the Dodgers, you know, I'm not saying the Phillies are a small market team. I'm just saying the Dodgers just have a way bigger market. I could see that honestly coming into play. You know, just people are going to think, you know, Walker Bueller, he's on the Dodgers. Okay, all right, cool. Hey, Dodgers. Hey, Walker Bueller, I'm going to vote for him. I could see one of those writers doing that. Trust me, you have some responsible writers out there that vote, but you got some guys that are just clowns that vote, like just complete clowns. So some of the, not all of them, there's a couple of them out there, but I could see Bueller getting a vote or two because of the fact that he's on the Dodgers. I don't know. I could see that. But one thing Wheeler does have over a Walker Bueller another thing he has over him are the complete games. That is something I think the voters will look at as well. Wheeler also has he has more complete games and he has more shutouts. So that it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very close. Personally, I feel like, you know, let me actually take a look here. Let me look at since the All-Star break. I think that's going to be a big thing too. I think a lot of people really weigh, a lot of the voters, I think they weigh the second half success as well. Didn't really work out for Garrett Cole in 2019. I feel like Garrett Cole probably should have won that award in 2019. He had an amazing second half of the season. I don't think he lost a game from May to the end of the season. And I don't know, that dude was nuts. But yeah, Walker Bueller has been the best pitcher in the second half. So that is something to consider. Whereas Zach Wheeler, he's been good too, but Walker Bueller has been better. But that also just goes to show, you know, Zach Wheeler, since the All-Star break, has a 3.27 FIP, while Walker Bueller has a 2.24. Walker Bueller is also getting more strikeouts per 9. So, and he's giving up less home runs. So Walker Bueller could be trending towards a Cy Young Award. So, I'm not going to disagree with this one. So let me see what you guys think in the chat. Do you think Walker Bueller will win the Cy Young Award over a Zach Wheeler? Give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments. Yankees 286. Gardner hits a home run. Alex Jones, that's a good point. Girardi pushing Wheeler. You know, I can see Girardi doing something like that. That's your guy. You know, that's definitely your guy. So you're gonna push that ace. But so Matt saying Walker will win. Jared Cole with the thumbs ups. Jerguda is saying bye. Jacob Toon with the thumbs down. He disagrees. Yankees 286 with the thumbs up. 93 people in the chat. Love to see what you guys think. Let me know what you think. Do you think Walker Bueller will win the Cy Young Award? 1 second, everyone. Got to plug in the iPad. I forgot to charge it. But all right, everyone. Let's go to the next hot takes. So sticking with the Cy Young Awards, Robbie Ray will win the Cy Young over a Lance Lynn. Now, let's go look at the fact. Will either... Hold on. Whoops, sorry about that. Will either of these guys win the Cy Young? You know, I definitely think these two guys are going to be in the mix. So let's go take a look at this. Here we go. Pulling up the American League. Here we go. Alrighty, sharing the screen. Okay, so as of right now, so Robbie Ray, well, that's since the All-Star break. So let me go back here. Robbie Ray has been the best pitcher in the American League, at least on Fangraphs, since the All-Star break. So let's take a look here. American League. So, right, it's very interesting. Nathan Eovaldi has the highest WAR in the American League. That's very interesting. I'm trying to see why. So, very interesting. One second. Let me pull this back up. My iPad died, so I gotta pull that back up. There we go. Okay, we're good to go now. So, very interesting that Fangraphs has him as the highest WAR pitcher in the American League. I don't see how. I mean, he has 3 less strikeouts per 9 than Garrett Cole. He has a slightly lower walk per 9, definitely a lower home run per 9. The BABIP he is getting affected by a pretty high BABIP. Now, you could know whether or not that's because of bad luck. I don't know. I know for a fact Nathan Eovaldi, he's been giving up some hard hit balls. He leaves a lot less runners on base. He definitely limits the home runs a lot more than a Garrett Cole, but his ERA is higher. His xERA is higher than Garrett Cole. His FIP is slightly higher. Very interesting how I need to look at their algorithm again, but very interesting to see Nathan Eovaldi at the top of the American League. But again, I think, like I said about the Walker Buehler one, I think personally, you're going to have the voters, they're going to look more towards like the baseball reference kind of stats. So, Robbie Ray has the highest WAR for a pitcher. So, that's something to consider. Lynn has the lower ERA by far. So, if we take a look at strikeouts, Robbie Ray has way more strikeouts than a Lance Lynn. I don't think Lance Lynn's even in the top 10. No. So Robbie Ray has a lot more Ks. I wonder if Garrett Cole ends up winning it. Because Garrett Cole, I just think, again, it's like kind of like that big market bias. I wonder if Garrett Cole ends up getting it, simply the fact that he's on the Yankees. I feel like you hear more about Garrett Cole than Robbie Ray. I think this is kind of a thing. I don't know. When you look at the numbers, it's very interesting. American League, these both the American League and the National League, I think you have an argument for a few pitchers. Now, I definitely think it's going to come down to Robbie Ray, Lance Lynn, and Garrett Cole. Maybe a Rodon ends up getting in there. Eovaldi is quietly having a good season this year. I just want to point that out to everyone. But will Ohtani get the Cy Young? I don't know about that. But I think Ohtani gets the MVP. But I think it's going to come down to Ray, Lynn, or Cole. So you have Lynn, who is leading ERA. If we take a look at innings pitched, where are the innings? Innings. Do they have innings? Here we go. So right now, Ray does have more innings than a Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn is not even in the top 10. So this is going to be interesting. I definitely think Robbie Ray, I don't know. I think he's going to have a shot. I think he's going to have a good shot. Now, the question is, how is Garrett Cole going to finish? So, because again, when you're looking at the only thing Lynn really has the edge in is the ERA. And if we take a look at Fangraphs, Lance Lynn has the better FIP and the better ERA. But again, the voters aren't going to look at FIP. Robbie Ray does have the better xFIP. So that's something to consider. It's very interesting how they, Fangraphs and Baseball Reference, they really disagree on a lot of their algorithms and whatnot to determine WAR. I just find it very interesting. So that's why you got to look at both Fangraphs and Baseball Reference. So I definitely think Robbie Ray has a chance. I just wonder if Garrett Cole is going to end up getting it just because of that Yankee bias a little bit, just because of the big market bias. So with Garrett Cole, I don't know. Like, Garrett Cole, he kind of is doing well in all categories. Like, he's good. If we take a look, Garrett Cole ranks in the top 3 for WAR. He ranks in the top 3 for ERA. He's tied for first in wins, which voters are still going to consider wins. He is... he's top 10 in innings pitched. He's top 3 in strikeouts. Has 2 complete games. I don't know. I feel like Garrett Cole. I don't know what it is. I think it's just like a gut feeling. I feel like Garrett Cole ends up winning it. I don't know. We still got a lot of season left, so he has time to bump up those numbers. But I definitely think Robbie Ray is definitely going to have a good chance. I definitely think Lance Lynn is going to have some attention as well. I just wonder, I don't know. I just wonder, how these voters are going to vote. What are they going to look at? What are their opinions going to be? Cole is a guy that ranks well in a lot of different categories. Ray, he leads in a couple of categories that are pretty important. Lynn has the ERA. So I don't know. I'm not saying Cole should win the MVP, but or the Cy Young, sorry. But I'm wondering if he ends up winning it just because I wonder if a lot of the voters are going to look at, well, he's good in this category, that category, that category, that category, where Robbie Ray, well, yeah, he leads in, strikeouts, but that's, he has the second highest ERA. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I think it's too close to call right now. I think you need to see right now. Neither of them are running away with it. So I think September is going to be a big deal. And also, again, it's that bias for the big markets. I just wonder about that. I think that's a real thing personally. Not all the time, but something to consider. But let me know what you guys think in the chat. That's not the right one. Robbie Ray will win the Cy Young. So what do you guys think? Give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. Do you think Robbie Ray ends up winning the Cy Young? Let me know what you guys think. Yankees with a thumbs down. Thumbs down. And Trust says thumbs down and then Cole. Matt says thumbs down. Edgar with a thumbs up. Jacob with a thumbs down. Sports predictions and stuff with a thumbs down. Matt has Lance Lynn ending up taking it. Yeah, Gladu, I agree. It's going to come down to that last month. Yankees says Cole or Lynn. Raptor Jesus, I'd give it to Cole. Tums, he says Lance has got it. Jacob, as much as I would love him to, I don't see it. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So here we go. Let's move on. We are on hot take number 7. We're rolling right along. We just have a few more before we wrap up shop for tonight. So here we go. Number 7. Here we go. Sticking with awards. A lot of award heavy hot takes tonight. Brian Reynolds would get top 3 in MVP voting. I think this is really interesting. Brian Reynolds, he's not going to win the MVP. I think we can all agree on that. But can Brian Reynolds finish top 3 in the MVP voting? I think this is interesting. So let's go take a look. So Brian Reynolds in the National League. If we take a look, I think this is going to come down to, personally, I think it's going to come down to Fernando Tatis Jr., Bryce Harper, and probably Max Muncy. Honestly, I think Trey Turner, because he got traded, I think that's going to kind of affect things a little bit. So I think it's going to come down to Fernando Tatis Jr., Max Muncy, and Bryce Harper. But Brian Reynolds, I think, could have a chance to get maybe 3rd. He's had a pretty good season. Look at the numbers he's been putting up. This guy's awesome. A 301 batting average, a 383 on base, 521 slugging, 21 home runs, 75 RBIs. He's got way more RBIs than Harper. He's played way more games, but I think Brian Reynolds could do it. He's been really good. But, I don't know. I think he ends up maybe getting 4th or 5th personally. He's had a really good season, but could he finish top 3? I definitely think it's possible. So, and then you also got, someone like I see you in the chat. Aussie Craig, Brandon Crawford. I mean, there's definitely some consideration for him as well. I mean, he's been playing a premium position on a winning Giants team. He's playing all around very good baseball. 5.8 defensive runs above average. So he's playing some good defense too. So, hey, he's having an all around really good season. You could see Brandon Crawford maybe get top 3. I could see that. I wonder if Muncy's going to get the votes, just because that Dodgers team has so many guys. But Max Muncy has been kind of like that cornerstone kind of a guy for the Dodgers this year, especially when it comes to the offense. Will Smith has been really good. I'll be honest with you. I would love for Will Smith to get some MVP votes. That's just me. I mean, the batting average I would like to see be a little better, but he's just been an all-around good player this year. So, Matt, I agree with you. Definitely could see Willy Adames getting in there. Top 5, possibly. Hey, I see you, Jurguda Votto, top 5. So, I mean, let's actually take a look at the guys in the second half. So, since the All-Star break, I think that ends up being a big factor as well. So, if we were to take a look. So, since the All-Star break, a lot of voters love to look at the, down the stretch kind of numbers. Bryce Harper right now has been putting up the best numbers down the stretch. Juan Soto, hey, look out for Juan Soto, man. He's been having a good year. Joey Votto, this guy's been phenomenal. He had 17 home runs since the All-Star break. This dude is nuts. He's got a 733 slugging since the All-Star break. Are you kidding me? So, I think it's going to be interesting. But getting back to the hot take, Brian Reynolds getting a top 3. Oh, whoops. So, Brian Reynolds getting top 3 in the MVP voting. Let me know what you guys think. Brody Rothrock, thank you so much for this one. Give me a thumbs up if you think this is possible. Give me a thumbs down if you think no way. All right. So, I'm seeing a lot more thumbs downs. I'm seeing a couple of thumbs ups. So, Matt is saying can't see it. Jurguda is saying bye. All right. So, let's, Truce, he says thumbs down. Top 5, 7 for sure. I could see that. I think Brian Reynolds will definitely get top 10 at least. So, here we go. Hot take number 8. We got 3 more. So, let's cruise right along here. From Tyler Tony La Russa will win AL Manager of the Year. So, wow, who would have thought this? Oopsies. Tony La Russa will win AL Manager of the Year. Very interesting. So, I like this one. I think this is a hot one, because Manager of the Year, it's always kind of a hard one to kind of break down. But let's take a look. I mean, because with managers, it's a very hard thing. Like, how much does a manager actually contribute? I think the thing that you kind of tend to look at are just, the win-loss record. I mean, at the end of the day, the White Sox are one of the better records in the American League. And Tony La Russa, at the end of the day, he was getting a lot of flack, but they're right here. They're leading the Central. I mean, this is a guy, I could see La Russa getting some votes simply because, well, first off, he's an MLB guy. He's been around Major League Baseball for so long. The guy's a legend. He has the name. So that's where I could see him getting votes. But, I think it's probably not going to happen because, but then again, I could also see some voters maybe even looking at it, like putting a positive spin on it. You had the DUI situation, but, you could put out there that, well, first off, I'm just going to say this too. Who thought Tony La Russa was going to be the manager of the White Sox in the offseason? I think maybe a couple people thought it, but I don't know. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. So, and the fact that they have made it this far, I mean, just goes to show. But I could see voters putting a positive spin on the DUI, on the Yermin Mercedes thing, because you could kind of play it as, well, you know, Tony La Russa, he had all of these issues. He had the DUI. He had the whole drama with the Yermin Mercedes home run. But the White Sox have a stranglehold on the Central, and he led them to the playoffs in his first year. You could, I know a lot of you don't think this is going to happen, but I could see voters looking at it that way. I'm just saying, I could see it. Do I think he's going to win AL Manager of the Year? No. But would I be surprised? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if Tony La Russa won AL Manager of the Year. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But let me know. I will say this with Tony La Russa. I will say this. He's had his issues this year, but I love when he ran out there and he was defending his guy. I mean, a lot of people were saying that was kind of silly too, but whatever. I kind of liked it because he was just like running out there and defending his player. I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny, honestly. But let me know what you guys think. I'm very interested to see what you guys think. Do you think Tony La Russa will win AL Manager of the Year? Give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. Let me know what you think. Let's see. Timothy Kelly with a thumbs down. Yankees with a thumbs down. Yeah, I agree, actually, Yankees. I agree. They have not had a lot of success against good teams. They're 29-33 against teams over 500. Jared Cole, what was the DUI thing? Well, he got a DUI in the offseason. So, at least I think I have that right? He got a DUI in the offseason. So, taking a look here. Neutral thumbs. Hey, Timothy Kelly. Alex Cora. I mean, I wonder if Alex Cora ends up getting it. You know, he had, you know, he's going to have that Astros thing. He's going to have the trash can thing. He's going to have the cheating thing he's going to have that. It's going to follow him. So I wonder if he's going to end up getting any kind of a chance, you know? So let's see. I see Kevin Cash. Sure. Kevin Cash. Absolutely. Let's see. I don't think Tony La Russa deserves Manager of the Year, but he is doing a good job. He does make a few decisions I think are bad, but overall he's doing a good job. I mean, I think, he's a classic kind of a guy. I think he's probably mixed in a few analytics here and there. You got to remember he's a guy that was working in front offices and stuff, so I think he does look at some analytics. So, yeah, Timothy Kelly. I agree with you. I agree. I think Alex Cora has been a pretty underrated manager this year. I think you're hearing a lot about, how good this Red Sox team has been, but I feel like you're not hearing a lot about Alex Cora. This is a guy where, I'm not trying to be biased here, I'm not trying to be giraffe neck Robbie here, but I think just Alex Cora, he's a guy that these players love to play for. I think he has really revitalized this Red Sox team. The Red Sox love that guy. Those players love that guy. They love playing for him. And I think he came back this year. And, Mason Gooding, thank you for subscribing. He came back this year, and just look at the energy on this Red Sox team. Look at the energy. I think Alex Cora has been a big part of it. But, yeah, I agree. Dulcie Marist, I agree with you. So, but let's take a look at the next hot take. We have another manager that is being considered, or this person is considering this manager to be AL Manager of the Year. And you know what? I don't think this one is too out of the question. I don't know if it's going to happen, but how about AJ Hinch from Raptor Jesus? AJ Hinch deserves considerations for Manager of the Year. I know they're not making it to the playoffs, and currently the Tigers are below 500, but he took a team that had been sitting in or around last place every year for the past 3 years and turned it into an actually fun team to watch. I like this one. I actually like this one. I think AJ Hinch, I definitely think, has, a chance to get some votes. So let's take a look here. Hold on one second. All right, so pulling up the standings. One second. Okay, here we go. So taking a look at the standings. So Detroit, they're 6 games under 500. You know, this is a team that's firmly in a rebuild right now. Firmly in a rebuild. You know, they're right in the middle of it. But AJ Hinch has come along, and he's brought a team almost to 500. I mean, you gotta think about that. You know, this Detroit team, they're far away, but they've had a pretty fun team this year. If you take a look here at the record, it's under 500, but they are 33-37 against teams that are over 500. So they have been at least competitive against these teams. I think AJ Hinch, I think he could get some votes. You know, there's a lot of young guys on that team too, and I think he's come over, and you know, this guy has, I mean, every right. You know, this was a guy that he didn't put an end to the whole cheating scandal in Houston. He didn't, and that's why he got ran out of town, because he simply he didn't put an end to it. He could have, and he just kind of let it happen. So I think AJ Hinch is kind of like, you know, with Cora, that's gonna follow him for the rest of his career. But I definitely think he could get some votes. The fact that he came into Detroit with a young team, you know, he had all of that stuff, you know, following him, you know, and rightfully so. And he's been able to kind of block out the noise from that. And they've actually had a pretty decent season, you know, considering where a lot of people thought they were going to be. So I think AJ Hinch definitely deserves some votes. And he's, you know, a lot of these younger players have been having some good seasons with them. He's really put together this young team. And while they're not in contention, you know, hey, they've had a lot of success this year. So, you know, for considering where they probably were supposed to be, it seems like they're definitely ahead of their timeline. In my personal opinion, if I were to pick a manager of the year right now, I personally think Scott Servais is the guy. Is the guy for the Mariners. The guy for AL Manager of the Year. You know, considering where this team was supposed to be too. You know, but they're 69-58. They're in the wild card race. I feel like Seattle has kind of been that fun team this year. You know, a surprise team. They've had their ups and downs. They've also got young players there too. I think Scott Servais is going to be, my personal opinion, I think he's going to be the guy that wins it. You could go Kevin Cash, sure. I mean, I don't know if Aaron Boone's going to get the votes. I mean, you could go Dusty Baker, possibly. I feel like Scott Servais is going to be the guy. That's my pick. That's my pick. I think the Mariners have been a fun team, a young team. They're in contention. So that's my personal pick. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think AJ Hinch has any chance of winning AL Manager of the Year? Let me know what you think. Alrighty, so and that's another thing to consider too. The Tigers were 10-24, so they've been a lot better since that first month. You know, since that first part of the season. Alrighty, so let's see what you guys are saying. Cincy Red with the thumbs up. Sports predictions and stuff says no. Draguda says bye. Yeah, Yankees, I agree. Aaron Boone's not going to win it. Matt, he says yes, get votes. Dulcie Maris says he buys. Yankees with a thumbs up. Thumbs up for, hey, Raptor Jesus. He was the one that sent it in. Thank you for that. Aussie Craig says no. Jason says yes. True says no because of the cheating. Alrighty, so it'd be interesting to see how the Manager of the Year awards play out. So everyone, we have made it to the end. We are at our last hot take. I have saved a fun one for the end. This is going to be a fun one. So we got around, 67 people here still hanging around. We got a fun one for the last hot take of the night, and it involves a Hall of Famer. Should he be in the Hall of Fame if this guy didn't have as much playoff success as he did? Here is the hot take. That's not the right hot take. Oh, no. Hold on a second. Oh, I don't think I plugged it in. Hold on a second here. Am I clicking the wrong one? Okay. Hold on. I got the right one now. There we go. So, here we go. Hey, I'm still on the screen. Let me take myself out of here. Webcam, I am gone. Okay, so, the Rad Lad, without playoff success and World Series rings, Jeter isn't a Hall of Fame caliber player. Ooh, this is hot. Hot take. I saved this one for last for a reason. So you always hear this debate. You know, I'm a big Red Sox fan. Personally, I think Jeter's a Hall of Famer. Personally, but I understand why people think he's not. At the end of the day, you know, the guy had some solid stats in his career. I think he's a Hall of Famer. That's just my personal opinion. If we go take a look here. So, you know, Derek Jeter, let me actually do a Control F. So if we look at Derek Jeter, he was 94th all time on the wins above replacement list on Baseball Reference with a 71.3 WAR. So, you know, there are some guys, you know, that I don't remember. I'm trying to think of who are some of these guys that didn't make it to the Hall of Fame. Did Jim McCormick make it? Huh, Jim McCormick's not in the Hall of Fame? That's interesting. I thought he was. Who was another guy? There's someone on here that is not in the Hall of Fame. Was it... Oh, was it Lou Whitaker? Yeah, Lou Whitaker. Very interesting. Very interesting. Did not make the Hall of Fame. Very interesting. I don't know. I thought that was very, very interesting. Lou Whitaker is a guy who had a lot of success in his career. Yankees 286 with a $2 super chat. 71.3 WAR, 2 Silver Sluggers, 5 Gold Gloves, almost 3,500 hits. I rest my case, and I agree with you. You know, Lou Whitaker was a guy where he was a really solid player. Kind of reminds me of like a Derek Jeter kind of a player. But Derek Jeter, in the end, you know, he had those World Series with, you know, let me actually go here. So, very interesting that he had that high of a WAR. So, Lou Whitaker had a 75.1, and Jeter had a 71.3, but Jeter got in, but not Whitaker. But the difference is, you know, Jeter had all the rings. Whitaker had 3 Gold Gloves, while Jeter had 5. Jeter was also a 14-time All-Star. Whitaker was a 5-time. Both won Rookie of the Year. Jeter had 5 Silver Sluggers. Whitaker had 4. So how did he get more of a WAR? Like, where was that coming into play? He played 19 years while Jeter played 20. So how did Whitaker get a higher WAR? What did he have more in? So Whitaker had a 276 average. Jeter had a 310. Did Whitaker have more RBIs? No. How does Whitaker have a higher WAR? Is it maybe the defense? Oh, I think that's what it is. Because if you go, this is where it is. So this is where people don't think Jeter's a Hall of Famer. I think we can all agree Jeter with the bat is good. He's good. Obviously, the guy had a ton of hits. You know, not the most power, but he had 260 home runs. You know, so how many did Whitaker have? Whitaker had 244. Whitaker and Jeter to me are similar. Like Whitaker is like a poor man's Derek Jeter, if that makes any sense. You know, middle infield kind of a guy. I think you could agree that Jeter wasn't the best defensively, but Jeter made the plays when they counted. Jeter had the highlight reel kind of plays. You know, so I think that kind of canceled out the defense. I think Yankee fans will tell you Jeter consistently didn't have the best defense. Sure, he had the highlight reel plays. He had the home plate play in the playoffs against the A's. He had the running into the stands against the Red Sox. He had the Jeter-esque throw, like the hop off 1 foot and throw to first. You know, Jeter had those plays. He had those highlight reels. But on a consistent basis, Jeter's defense was like the day-to-day defense was not very good. You know, if you take a look, look at the years where Yankees won these World Series, in 99 or in 2000, he had a negative 16.4 defense. 2001, negative 10.2. He had good defense in 1998, so it's like, what happened? I don't know. He had some good years of defense, but 2005, it was bad. 2007, it was bad. He had a good defensive year in 2009. So, but with Jeter, if you take a look at the fielding, the advanced fielding. So Jeter had a lot of a huge amount of negative defensive runs saved. Negative 162, which is kind of funny because I thought that would actually be not that bad, but he gave up a lot of runs. So I wonder if there's an article on I wonder if there is an article on Fangraphs about his defense. I'm sure there is. Fangraphs. There's an article here on Elite Sports New York. Yeah, so okay. So Fangraphs, if you are interested, I'm not going to get into them now. Fangraphs does have some articles on Derek Jeter's defense. So I'm not going to get into them too much. I'm just looking at the numbers really quick. Personally, I think Jeter's a Hall of Famer. I just think the guy he had so many clutch moments. Actually, that's one thing I want to pull up as well. Let me pull up his clutch numbers. I think clutch is an important thing. You come up in those big moments. So his clutch numbers, where he had a very good career, 33.47 WPA-LI, and his clutch. I mean, he wasn't the best overall, but for his career, he was in the positives. So that's something, to consider with him. He had a lot of clutch moments. So you can't deny that. The WPA-LI was good. I want to actually take a look at his splits. So, hold on. Splits tool. Okay. I want to see how he did with runners in scoring position. So let's say runners in scoring position for his career. Does it show career numbers or just year to year? Whatever. But WRC plus with runners in scoring position, I mean, always really, especially from like 2002 to 2008, he was very good. Look at 2006. He had a 175 WRC plus with runners in scoring position. That's nuts, man. Let me see how he did in high leverage situations. Again, very good. In 2006, he was awesome in 2006. So let me actually look at his numbers. 2006 was a very good season for him. He hit 343 that year. 14 home runs, but he had 97 RBIs. So he was good. He had 34 stolen bases. 2006 was a really good season for Derek Jeter. He had a 417 on base in 2006. Slugging. Jeter wasn't really much of a home run RBI kind of a guy. So the slugging was never really too high with him. He was always an on base kind of a guy. So I think Derek Jeter, personally, if you were to take out now, but here we go. The hot take. You got to get back to the hot take. Take away the World Series. Dang it, I'm clicking the wrong one again. Ugh. So, taking out the playoff success, taking out the World Series, is he a Hall of Famer? Now, that's something to really think about. Again, I'm looking at a guy like a Lou Whitaker, who had a higher WAR, but didn't get into the Hall of Fame. So it's very interesting, that Whitaker isn't in. And he didn't really have any playoff. He did win a World Series, and he still didn't even get in. So I don't know. It's very interesting. But, you know, with Jeter, he did have all the hits. He did have the hits. So that's where you kind of look at. So if we take a look here at hit leaders. Is there a way to just look at hits? Let's go to this. I just want to look at, here we go, all time. Here we go. So Jeter is 6 all time. I think because of that, if you didn't have, you know, the World Series teams, if you didn't have the playoffs, and you still had this amount of hits, I still think Jeter gets in just because you're on an all, you know, hits in baseball. That's what you do in baseball. You get hits, right? You get hits and you score runs. And Jeter was 6 all time in hits. And there's obviously some really good company here. Pete Rose, Ty Cobb, Hank Aaron. You know, that's a funny thing. I don't think a lot of people realize that Hank Aaron was 3rd all time in hits. You know, Stan Musial, Tris Speaker. So I think if you take out the playoffs, you take out the World Series, I think he's still a Hall of Famer. He's still a Hall of Famer. Actually, I want to look at, do they have one of the leaders? I want to see OPS plus. Does he rank high in that? I want to look at on base. Here we go. So this is on base percentage. So Derek Jeter, where does he rank on here? Control F. Oh, 200 sec. Wow. Really? Look at Chuck Knobloch with a 377 on base. Are you kidding me? Well, okay. So Derek Jeter, 200. I thought he was going to be a lot higher than that. Anyway, but I think because of the hits, I think Jeter, I think he gets in. I still think just because of the hits. That's a big stat. It's a big stat. Let me go back to that really quick. Yeah, when you're in this kind of company, you know, I think it's a no-brainer. You know, I think you're a Hall of Famer. That's just me. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you think if you take away the playoff success and the World Series rings, do you think Jeter is still a Hall of Fame caliber player? Let's see what you guys think here. Let's see what you guys think. Yeah, Matt, I agree. That's like ignoring Tom Brady's rings when discussing his legacy. Can't live in a world of hypotheticals. Yeah, at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know? You know, Jeter was a big part of those playoff teams. Yeah, woke Kyle, that shouldn't even be a question. Raptor, I disagree with the premise. You can't just take it away. Yeah. But I love that we're having conversation. I love it. This is basically, what's his legacy if you remove his legacy? Yeah, that's it. Pretty much. Pretty much. Aussie Craig, Jeter deserves to lose his Hall of Fame for stinking up the Marlins. Hey, I mean, look out for the Marlins, man. They're going to be good in the next few years. Look out for that pitching. Yeah, and, you know, I agree. Dulcie Marist, the longevity of his career as well. Yeah, Cincy Red, next time do Pete Rose. I think Pete Rose is a Hall of Famer. I mean, I think he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, come on. He's a Hall of Famer. I know he bet on the game. Put the guy in the Hall of Fame. I mean, come on. It's like, put him in the Hall of Fame. That's just my opinion. But alrighty, everyone. That's all I have for tonight. It's another good episode of Hot Takes. But before I do get out of here, really quick, I just do want to share one more time. I just want to make you aware, if you did not see this earlier, I put up a poll to where I would love for you guys to go answer this poll. As of right now, we got 304 votes on this poll. It's a pretty important one. So if you haven't yet, please go take the time and just go read this quickly for me and go vote on it. I am okay with either a yes or a no. So please let me know what you guys think. And don't forget, I did upload the how to fix the Diamondbacks video today. I played on MLB The Show. It's about 45 minutes long. If you want to listen to something while you're doing whatever, go take a look at that. I had a lot of fun doing that. So everyone, I'm going to get out of here. I want to appreciate you all for coming out tonight. I think we had over 100 people tonight. So good night of streaming. I will be back here Sunday night for the power rankings. So everyone, I hope you have a great night. Hope you have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you next time.